Finally, the word came down, and so a lot of the troops got on these different ships and then laid out about a quarter of a mile or something in the harbor. And they had to wait until other ships became available to put the tanks and put all the heavy armor and all of that sort of stuff on that. And so we were, sitting there for about a month before we finally took off for Okinawa.
And you wrote letters, but it was as if you were still on the island?
Well, I was on ship all that time for a long time. And then
they wouldn't let you say that in the letters? Were they censored?
No, you could. They were all censored. Everything was censored. You couldn't tell them that where you were. We could never say Saipan, or you couldn't say anything like that, But because they had censored a lot of them. Some of it you saw in the letters, or the censor cut out if I put a name in or what have you. I tried to set up a code with my folks to say where I am, but it never really worked somehow or other. Either they didn't get the hang of it or didn't want to do it. I couldn't say, a code, send a code, but I tried to get that across. But so then anyway, we went out. We finally took off for Okinawa, and this was March of 45. Who knew how that battle was going to come out? But since we got enough troops there, then we weren't needed, and we were going to be the first ones to invade Japan, the 2nd Marine Division. See.
So how did they train you for that?
Well, we were training all the time, but I remember seeing all the maps, a lot of maps anyway, exactly where we're going to land on Kyushu. That's the southernmost island. Mm-hmm. And the invasion of Okinawa was Easter Sunday, 1945, which I think was April 1st. And that's when they invaded. But just before that night before, like a Saturday night, now the next morning we were going to get in the Higgins boats and invade, okay? That night I heard at 5 o'clock in the morning bombing and machine guns and cannons and ack-ack and bombs dropping all over. Geez, we're down in a hole, 500 guys in this one hole. I told you bunks stacked up 5 high, and everybody's woken up, and this is when the kamikazes hit, and they hit really hard. That was one of the biggest kamikaze battles, and kamikaze means divine wind in Japanese. And so we were all locked down in the hole, and because they didn't want Marines running around on topside. And so you could and I looked around, and these big holes, big gray walls going up were way down below the waterline. And I was thinking to myself, if they ever hit this ship, I'm dead meat. There's no way you can get out.